Hello guys, my name is Larry, and first off let me thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel today and watching this video. We're going to be putting you a video together today of how we're going to make the crispiest onion rings you'll ever be able to put in your mouth. Now it's onion season here in South Texas. In South Texas, onion season means there's plentiful. Onions are plentiful. They're cheap, inexpensive, and it's time to cook us a lot of onion rings this time of the year. I'll show you a picture right up here of some of the fields that these came from. These came straight from the fields. And this is a 10-15 onion. Now let's get this show on the road. Let me show you how we make delicious, crispy onion rings. Stick around, guys. Now some of the things that we're going to be using today, again, like I said earlier, we got one onion. Now the Germans call this a Bohemian apple. And then of course you're going to need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We got that shit aside ready to go. And then you're going to need 2 teaspoons or the amount of seasoning you want. I'm going to use today for the purpose of the video, which I really like this rub, a Meat Hustler AP rub. Now you can use just about any kind of rub you want to use. I just really like this stuff, especially on a lot of different things, from barbecue to salads to name a few. Now it's got a little bit of a few things in it: sea salt, cane sugar, spices, ancho chili pepper, garlic, paprika. We're going to add some paprika as well, and a couple other things. But this really enhances the flavor of those onion rings. So this stuff here now, you can buy this at ProPitsBarbecueSupplyStore.com, and I'll put a link down below. This is really a good rub. I've used it in a lot of competitions in the past. Have done pretty well with it. And then you're going to need some paprika. Smoked paprika, not the regular, but smoked. And then you're going to need just a little bit of baking powder, not the can, of course, and I'll show you as we get there what we're going to use. And you're going to need some black pepper. And then you can use any kind of panko. Now this is shaking and baking, extra crispy, and it's not a panko, but it's similar to it. I kind of like this. You can choose whatever kind of panko you want. That's what really helps it give that extra crunch. And of course, like I said, you're going to have some milk. Now the panko with the shake and bake comes like this. We'll pour it in there as needed. Of course, your utensils, whatever you think you're going to need to cut the onions on and do the cooking process. And then we're also going to have a skillet over here to the side. Let me get you a shot of that. And you may want to start getting that turned in right now, or turned on right now. Want to get that grease up to about 375. When it's really good and hot like that, it really makes a nice, crispy, crunchy onion ring. So, you know, to save you some time, you might want to get your grease going now. All right, let's get this show on the road here. We're going to start with the main item, or the star of the show, and that's going to be this old 10-15 sweet onion. Guys, it's nice to be living here in South Texas and be able to go out to the field and pick your vegetables, a few citrus fruits and stuff like that, oranges, grapefruits, watermelons, especially when watermelon season comes around. That's really great. But anyhow, we're going to start cutting the old onions. We're going to trim them up there a little bit. Both sides of it all just like so. If you tear it up, you might want to watch out. Get that outside skin off of there like so. I got a bobo on my finger there, folks, so got a band-aid on it. Normally I cook with gloves, but I'm out of gloves today. But ain't nobody gonna eat this but me. Now we'll throw this trash off to the sides. Actually, we'll throw it out in the garden and compost it. We're all about trying to help the environment as much as we possibly can. If the chickens won't eat it, we'll put it back in the ground and let it go through its cycle of regeneration. That come off of that pretty nice. That's a nice onion right there. Nice funyun. Now the ideal width of the onion rings you want before frying is about 5/16. Now my wife says it's 1/4 plus 1 mark. Huh. Well, I tell her, it's 5 marks on the ruler. little marks. So 5/16 or just a little over. That's how thick you want each one of these slices. That way they fry up real good. All right, let's start cutting these in 5/16 slices. That old Band-Aid don't look pretty in the video, but it's all right, folks. We just got to shoot it like that. We got a bad bobo this morning with a utility knife, and whoo, he had a hell of a mess. I'm gonna make this one a little thicker so I don't cut my finger again. All right, look at them big old onion rings. Man, that's gonna make some big ones. Now then, we're gonna start peeling these apart. And you wanna keep stuff like this, like that one, like that one, like that one, like that one, and that. Now what I like to do is, if I don't use all the onion, I go ahead and fry the rest of it up in the bottom of a skillet, and I'll mix them with some mashed potatoes or something like that. You know, I want them little burnt onions. But man, that right there going to be some pretty nice onion rings. Them big onions, they really go a long ways. That's just one onion, and we ain't even got a little half of it done. Now, we're not going to cook all of them in this video. I mean, I'll cook them afterwards. But just to show you how it's done, we're only going to cook a few of them, you know what I mean? Throw all this back here. Now you got your onion rings, or the sliced onions, ready to go. Now we're going to head on to the next step, and that's going to be the flour. You're going to need 1.5 cups of flour, just like I got right here. Let me get that out of the way. We try to keep it a little clean. And then, of course, you're going to need your 2 tablespoons of seasoning. That's a meat hustler. That's what we're going to be using right here. And get this top off of it. And they say 2 tablespoons. You put whatever you want to put in there. Some spices may be hotter and carry more heat. Maybe not carry any heat at all. And then there's going to be some that's going to be, you know, have a completely different profile. So you put whatever kind of spice you want to put in there that enhances, takes care of your palate. Your palate may be different than mine and everybody else out there in the world. So, you know, it's your selection, your choice to see what you want to put in there. Now the next thing is baking powder. Now in baking powder, you're going to use 2 teaspoons. There's 1. And there's 2. All right, we got the baking powder in there. Now we're going to use some smoked paprika. Again, usually around a teaspoon or a little bit more, but we're going to put what you see right there, just that much. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. There we go. Now we got the smoked paprika. Now you're going to add a little bit of black pepper. Oh, you asked me how much? Just about that much right there. That looks like that'll suit the needs we got here. Now then, we're going to stir that stuff all up, make sure we get it all mixed up very well. Now some of that smaller stuff is going to want to settle to the bottom, so you may have to re-stir it after a little while. But you got to make sure you got it stirred up real pretty there, you know what I mean? Now, if we use up all the flour, I've got another bowl over here. This is actually a total of 2 cups. Now, I only mixed about 1 3/4 cup in this. So, if we run out of flour over this side, we'll have to use that other bowl. Okay, that's what we got there. We got our onions over here. Now then, you're going to need another bowl, and you're going to need 1 cup of regular milk. Now, a lot of people say, why do you use regular milk? Why not buttermilk? Why not this milk? Why not that milk? Well, I've cooked many different onion rings, and it just seems, out of all my experimenting, that regular milk seems to make the crispiest onion rings. So we're going to put that in there. That's 1 cup of milk now. Put that in the sink over here. And the next star of the show is going to be sour cream. Now this here is an 8-ounce container and we're going to use about half of that inside there, okay? You following me? Stick with me now. I know this is not the most professional video you probably will ever see in your lifetime, but let me give you a little insight. I am making this movie, I am editing this movie, I am performing in this movie, so it is not a high budget video. I don't have any help to make these videos, so I do the best I can with what I got, but I think that it's good enough for you to get the message of what we're trying to do with these onion rings. Now, you're going to want to make sure that this stuff gets stirred up. Now, you may want to use a whisker. I'm going to switch over to a fork. Let me put my thing in my sink. And you're going to want to mix this stuff up, because if not, you're going to have little lumps and knots and everything else in there. And it's just not going to come out too good. Now, there's a last ingredient that I usually put in here, and it is going to be honey or some type of syrup. Now, you're not going to need a lot of that. Just what you see me putting in there. There we go. That's plenty. Ooh, that old stuff is sticky. Get there, would you? All right. Now you see we're getting it down here to getting it all mixed up. Get that all mixed in real good. Make sure you got your oil good and hot up there around 375. And then you're about ready to start cooking some stuff here. Let me get this all mixed up and we'll start frying this up some onions. Now, something else you might do, and I'll get you a shot of that here shortly, is get your oil to cooking, get you one of the other onions that you wasn't going to use for onion rings, and just drop it in that hot oil and see if it starts frying up. But let's get this mixed up and let's keep going. Now, if you take a look at the skillet, what I done was I took one of them old excess onion slices and I throwed it in my oil. And you see how that thing is frying up there pretty good? That's letting me know that grease is almost ready to put the regular onion rings in there and start getting this show to this top of its level. So stick around, let's start making onion rings here pretty quick. All right, we got everything mixed up here now, just like we want it. First thing you're gonna do is put you one of them onions in here like so. Take it back over here, cover it up real good. Take it back out of there again. And back in to that one more time. And then put it back in there again, cover it up. If you really want to make them really crispy, put them in there a third time. You know, by doing this, folks, you won't have to go down to Sonic and hit that button and say, can I order some onion rings with some ketchup? There we go, look at that. Now that's going to be an onion ring right there, folks. Now let's see what it does in the skillet. All right, these are the ones. Let's back it out where you see even better here. Put the camera over here. We're going to take those out and put them on that little pan to dry out. Ooh, can't wait to eat those. They're looking good. Flip them over every couple seconds there. Now you want to cook these golden brown or darken brown as you want them to be. It's up to you. Ooh, the smell coming off of them. Fresh onions. Oh, yeah, folks. That sure is good. It's going to make me want to do the hula hoop dance over here. Hula hoop or onion ring dance or something like that you want to call it. But they sure looking good and they sure smelling good. And I'm going to flip this one over a little bit because it was one of the last ones that went in there. Now normally I like to do these, I'm going to eat this onion. That sure is good. Now normally I like to do these outside with a propane fire, open fire, and with a big old Dutch oven. Man, like we make pan de campo and some other stuff. But today, it's kind of hot out there and I decided to do it inside with this little electric contraption we got here. I can't wait to taste them. They sure looking good. Flip that one over a little bit. Now see, that's about where you really want them, just like you see right there, nice golden brown, like some good old chicken. You know, not burned up, just good golden brown onion rings. That one's ready too. Look at that. Look at that, would you? Just look at that. Put them over here, get the grease string off of them. I love onion rings. A little ketchup with that. Make you want to slap my mama. All right, now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to convert back over here to this side, and we're going to, let me zoom out so you get a better shot there. We're going to start making the panko rolls, or the shake and bakers. Now to do that, you're going to want to put your shake and bake right there, just like that. And you're going to see there's going to be a big difference in the two onion rings, or two types of onion rings, I should say. But there's going to be a difference. So it's hard being the star of the show and the videographer, you should call it. Okay, look at that. Don't that look good? Look at that, would you? Ooh, look at them onion rings. Bohemian apples. Okay, I'm going to continue cooking these things, and we'll get them all stacked up here, and then we'll do a taste test here shortly. Well, we've got to the part in the video where we all have been wanting to get to pretty quick. Now that you've made them, it's time to taste these things and see which ones you like the best. We got our ketchup over there on the side. Of course, you can't eat onion rings without ketchup, although I have heard a few people eat them with mustard. Not my taste, right? Remember that these on this side here did not have no panko in them. These do have. So now it's time to do the taste test. Can't wait. All right, guys, now the time has come. Let's do a taste test on these. Remember, this is the one without the panko on them. They look cleaner, not as much crust on the outside, but let's taste one and see what we got here. The only thing missing, I think, is a little bit of salt. I like a little salt on mine. You may not, but I do. Can you hear the crunchiness in the heaven? Ooh, the heaven is coming out of these fresh onions, straight out of the field. That's good. That's real good. Put the ketchup on them. Not being rude, talking with my mouth full, but these are good. Me want to do the onion ring dance. Woo-hoo. Yeah, it's good, folks. I do the hula, 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 hula. That one's a good one. Now then, let's try the one with the panko. Darker, crustier, looks uglier. Let's see. Just as crunchy. Now with a little ketchup. I know y'all think I'm rude, but you just don't know what you're missing here. Make me want to dance. Make me very happy. Folks, tip on your rings are muy bueno. Now, the panko less versus panko, there's a difference in taste. Try them both ways yourself. Post some comment down below, because I'm sweating my tail off in here. The AC just went out about 30 minutes ago. Subscribe, hit the like button, like and subscribe. Stick around for our future videos. We're going to be putting out many more. These are the crispiest onion rings I've ever eaten. Thanks for watching, guys.